come true.
More player reactions, man. This is highly requested. I've had a few of you guys that have been, asking me to check out this video for the longest, bro. I believe most of you guys that have been asking me to check out this video are LAFC fans. So today's your day. The video titles, I can't even talk anymore. The prodigy that actually hates football but was so good his family forced him to go pro. This is Carlos Vela. I don't know how accurate this is. Probably just clickbait. I don't think he hates football. How can he be so good at something that you hate it? You could say that he doesn't take football seriously, or he didn't take football seriously when he was growing up, but he doesn't hate football. Come on, man. Come on, Rayma. What's going on? But they said his family forced him. Maybe he wasn't taking it seriously, but his family encouraged him to take it seriously because I was like, they're chasing the bag, But yeah, Carlos Vela, exceptionally talented man. I think injury ruined this guy, man. Injury ruined him. He came to the Arsenal Academy. Everyone was talking about Carlos Vela being the next big thing. I remember when I was growing up, man. Everybody, especially the Arsenal fans, were talking about, oh, this guy's the next Ballon d'Or winner, bro. Him and Jack Wilshere. Everyone was hyping those two guys up. When they were coming through, the Arsenal Academy. So it's very sad, man, to see how that injury impacted his career. Because I think this guy could have went on to to go on and do great things. I'm not saying he wasn't successful. He was still relatively successful. Played in La Liga, played in MLS. So, it's still quite a successful career. But he could have been a whole lot more if it wasn't for that injury, bro. Because I think after that injury, it just wasn't the same. But yeah, I'm fascinated to see, what this video is going to give us, what type of information we're going to learn about Carlos Vela. Definitely intrigued. Guys, by the way, if you want to support the channel, man, you can join the membership or so. I know I'm asking for a bit because I've got the Patreon and this. Just right now, I'm doing YouTube full time and I need to make some type of income, man. So if you can support your boy, I'm planning to give it I'm planning to do a giveaway very soon. Once we hit like 1,000 people on that Patreon, I'll be doing a big giveaway. So help me, guys. Let me do this. Allow me to do this stuff full time, and it would mean a lot to me, bro. So but yeah, enough talking, man. Let's get in there.
But for those actually living the life,
hold up. Let me say that all the way back.
Is an absolute dream. Just imagine scoring goals and hearing the crowd scream your name. But for those actually living the life, there are a few whose passion exceeds anything else. Not satisfied with being average and continuously striving to reach absolute greatness. And at the same time, there are those who love the game but are just content with being decent, playing good minutes, getting paid, and enjoying the life. Sure. Then there are guys who like the game, but after a while, mainly treat it as a job, like Gareth Bale, who retired early to move on to a different pitch.
That was crazy.
Play golf.
Man said he went to play golf.
Then comes along a guy like Carlos Vela, a professional footballer who hates football. No, I'm not kidding. Like Gareth Bale, he treats it as a job, the difference being it's a job that he genuinely does not.
That has to be cap. You're telling me Carlos Vela hates football, man? So why is he playing football? You're telling me he's just doing it for the money? Come on, man. He definitely has some level of interest in the sport. For you to be good at something, you need to have some level of interest, right? Are you guys good at anything that you hate? Let me know in the comments, by the way. Is there anything out there that you hate but you're good at? You could say, maybe you're not as interested, but you don't hate it. Hate it, I think, it's a bit too much. I think you're stretching it a little bit. Maybe you could say you didn't take it as seriously. As seriously, that makes more sense. Not hate it.
He treats it as a job, the difference being it's a job that he genuinely does not like. In his own words, he'd rather watch 1,000 NBA basketball games than a single match of football.
It was always like a dream to play in the NBA or be a basketball player, so all the time is scoring points. It's not like a game of soccer, like can be 0-0, and that's boring.
And his feelings towards football goes all the way back to his younger years. Being so good, his family forced him to go pro, despite his lack of effort, training, and dedication. And if you think I'm over-exaggerating, there was a time when a young Carlos Vela would score more goals than Karim Benzema, Antoine Griezmann, and Gareth Bale. While
Where is he? Vela number 5. Okay. In La Liga. Yeah, Ronaldo and Messi, these guys are weird. They're always just on a different level, man. Okay, number 5. Wow, that's very impressive, man. Very, very impressive for Real Sociedad. I know he was very, very good at Real Sociedad, one of their best players. Wow, 17 goals, man. Very good.
also having more assists than Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo,
Really?
and Iniesta. So how does a guy who literally clocks out of work once he leaves the pitch and pays absolutely zero attention to football or have any extra training able to do that? Well, today we're gonna look at the curious case of Carlos Vela.
This is fascinating, man.
Unlike most professional players today, growing up, Carlos Vela never had passion for the game. His father, Enrique Vela, was a former professional footballer whose career was short-lived due to an unfortunate torn ligament that would force him to retire very early.
Damn.
His father, who wished to see his dream stay alive through his son, for better or for worse, forced the young Carlos Vela to join local football clubs in his hometown of Cancun, Mexico. However, the young Carlos Vela had never been interested in football. Ever since he was a young
is that
boy,
Javier Hernandez? So these guys came to the same academy or what? That's Javier Hernandez there. This is Vela. This is the Chivas youth team, I believe. Wow, 2 legendary players, man.
never been interested in football. Ever since he was a young boy, he'd always been amazed by basketball. Even seeing some NBA players, which many would often visit Cancun every summer. Carlos fell in love with basketball and admired the game so much that he would play every day in school. Then immediately after was forced to go and train his football skills. However, just as he was turning 12 years old, his father and coaches would ultimately force him to quit the game that he loved. Whether he liked it or not, Carlos Vela was a complete natural at the game, which would often irritate his father to see how he never took it.
And that was a right decision, though. You know, first of all, let's keep it real. He was never gonna make it as a professional basketball player. You know, the height is not there. I'm not saying you can't make it being short, but it's a massive disadvantage. So that was not realistic for him. So good on his family, forcing him to play football. They probably saw that he had a better chance with football compared to basketball.
Whether he liked it or not, Carlos Vela was a complete natural at the game, which would often irritate his father to see how he never took it 100% seriously, despite already becoming one of the country's best young talents, even without any love for the game. Also, being in one of the most popular cities in Mexico helped him to get scouted at the age of 12. Shortly soon after, selected to represent Mexico in their first ever Under-17 World Cup win, where Carlos Vela was the tournament top scorer and a Golden Boot winner. This performance was big enough to secure an instant offer, move to England, and sign with no other than Arsenal. But because Carlos Vela was a non-European resident and a minor, English work permit restrictions prevented him from actually playing any matches in England. So thus, they loaned him out to Spanish side Salamanca. As a 17-year-old, Carlos Vela would score 8 goals and have 4 assists in 39 matches, playing against grown men and being involved in a lot of build-up play for the club's goals as well.
That's good.
Then when
For a
he
young
was
player, that's
18
good.
years old, Osasuna would go and pick him up, finally giving him the experience of first-team play in La Liga. But it wasn't until 2008 when the 19-year-old Carlos Vela was finally eligible to move back to Arsenal and play in the Premier League. And with the limited time he had as a youngster, Vela would definitely show flashes of greatness. As in his full debut against Sheffield United, Vela would go on to score a hat-trick, including the signature chip shot that showed you just how composed
In the Premier League.
teenager was. And he would go on to impress the Arsenal fans incredibly quickly. Carlos Vela had a deadly shot from long distance, being able to catch goalkeepers off guard with his powerful strikes.
He's got a lethal left
This
foot.
also extended to his free kicks, where Carlos Vela was actually very accurate in. But easily his signature move is that incredible chip shot, doing it in a way that the goalkeeper has no
Messi-esque.
idea it's coming. And lastly, his off-ball movement and intelligent positioning is actually incredibly underrated, allowing him to find or slip into the perfect spaces.
so clever,
But
bro.
also what made Vela a sensation
Clever
was his
finish. He's a
superb
typical Arsenal player because he's technically very, very good. Got good IQ, football IQ I'm talking about. you know. So yeah, it was definitely a good signing. Typical Arsenal signing, bro.
What made Vela a sensation was his superb passing. Vela
Hmm.
was a very creative player. Oftentimes he would play amazing balls and just zip through
Quick as
defensive
hell.
lines, quite often being involved in build-up play, creating openings to score goals. Plus his delicate touch added an extra layer of finesse to his game at such a young age. His dribble also had excellent touch and close ball control, allowing him to win
Facts.
one-on-one situations with ease. Plus his electric burst of speed made him a constant threat on the wings. But Vela was placed at a very unique position. He could seamlessly transition between playing as a winger and a forward. Vela was building the reputation of an up-and-coming hotshot, but would unfortunately suffer an ankle injury quite early into his time with Arsenal, and would be sidelined for several months. This is when he would be loaned out to Real Sociedad back in La Liga. Once he got there,
Yeah, like Aldi said, I think that injury just, and obviously he went on to become a great player. But I feel like, if he didn't have that injury, he would have potentially gone on to do even greater things, bro. Because I think that injury kind of like disrupted his momentum, because he was picking up form at Arsenal, like just what this guy said. His form was very, very good, very, very promising. The Arsenal fans loved him, and then the injury came in, and it just disrupted his momentum, man. That's the thing about being a professional footballer, man. If you're very unlucky, injuries can just destroy your career, man. So many talents over the years, that could have potentially gone on to do great things. Most of those talents, or a lot of those talents, were ruined because of bad injury, bro.
He would be loaned out to Real Sociedad back in La Liga. Once he got there in the 2011-2012 season, he became an instant fan favorite, scoring so impressive that they went on to fully sign him. Over the years, Vela's performance at Real Sociedad showcased his growing dominance and recognition in La Liga. In the 2012-2013 season, he scored 14 goals and 11 assists in 37 appearances,
Wow.
with an average of
That's solid.
0.68 goal contributions per game.
Solid
Scoring more
numbers.
goals than Karim Benzema, Cesc Fabregas, Antoine Griezmann,
Yeah,
Diego Costa.
Benzema, man. Benzema, this guy was struggling, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. He's a striker as well. I'm not okay. He wasn't struggling, but like, come on now. Vela getting more goals than Benzema, man, consistently. That's not quite good enough, is it? Obviously, like Benzema went on, to improve and win the Ballon d'Or.
An average of 0.68 goal contributions per game, scoring more goals than Karim Benzema, Cesc Fabregas, Antoine Griezmann, Diego Costa, and many more.
What, and Diego
Even keeping
Costa?
up there with La Liga's best
Wow.
playmakers, while having more assists than Di Maria and Alexis Sanchez at a younger age. At 23 years old, he was starting to establish himself as one of the most exciting players in the league, and his breakthrough came just in the following 2013-2014
So
season.
Sociedad was a
Vela
serious
scored
team during
21
this time
goals
as well.
and provided 13 assists in 52 appearances, scoring more goals than Benzema, Antoine Griezmann, Gareth
Again.
Bale, and even getting more assists than Lionel Messi, even Rakitic, and Cristiano Ronaldo, winning multiple La Liga Player of the Month awards and finishing third place to Cristiano Ronaldo as La Liga's best forward, finishing just ahead of Lionel Messi. But Vela would encounter a major
He finished ahead of Messi, bro. This guy was a serious bowler, bro. He was a serious bowler, and this era, or this, I said era, during this time, Sociedad was a serious team. I remember, when I was watching La Liga during that time, they were one of the best teams in the whole division, bro. They used to compete with Barcelona and Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. I think they used to be in the top 4 consistently as well. I don't know if Isco came through this. No, Isco came through Malaga. Came to the Malaga Academy. I was thinking Isco was part of the team, but nah.
finishing just ahead of Lionel Messi. But Vela would encounter a major setback to his career. He would suffer ligament damage and be diagnosed with an internal meniscus tear, forcing him to basically miss out on the entire season. Then discipline issues began to come up. He would start to show a lack of commitment when he would skip training to attend events in Madrid like concerts and basketball games. Despite his undeniable potential, Carlos Vela's already limited.
What's wrong with going to concerts and watching basketball games? That does not mean you're not disciplined or you're not committed. He's not just going to be playing football or just be depressed because he's injured. He has to live his life. These footballers are humans at the end of the day, right? They still need to party and have fun,
He would skip training to attend events in Madrid like concerts and basketball games. Despite his undeniable potential, Carlos Vela's already limited passion for the game began to wane even more. He would find himself looking forward more and more to vacations, holidays, and any time away from football. Just as Carlos Vela was making
Wait, is that Yaramendi? That looks like Yaramendi.
away from football. Just as Carlos Vela was making a full recovery from his knee injuries and start to just about enter his physical prime at around 28 years old, he received an offer that was just too good to be true. He was being offered $4 million a year to move to Los Angeles, California to play in the MLS.
Okay.
This was the perfect destination. He'll be living in Hollywood where he can go to as many movies, events, and watch as many NBA games as he wants.
No wonder why I moved
without
there.
a moment's hesitation, Vela would be on his way to LAFC. Carlos Vela became the most dominant player in the MLS, even scoring 38 goals and having 12 assists in 36 matches. An insane 1.39 goal contributions per game. I know it's the MLS, but during this time, Carlos Vela also managed to be fully healthy, marking the first time of his career without a major injury. And since moving to the MLS in 2018, Carlos Vela has missed no more than a couple months from fatigue and minor injury. And say what you want about the MLS, but honestly, Carlos Vela was really balling out there, showing you that he truly belonged in the top leagues to show what he could really do. And maybe this is why many, especially in Mexico, believe that Vela was truly wasting his full potential. And to sum it all up, you can basically see Vela's commitment to football by looking at how committed he was to his Mexican national team, even deciding to abandon them for the 2022 World Cup.
Really?
Even though he's probably the best Mexican talent in a very long time. Truly in his heart, Carlos Vela loves basketball way more than soccer. And if he could have it his way, he would easily be a basketball player instead. But I know it's just hard to imagine what might have been if Carlos Vela really actually did have love for the game and dedicated himself fully towards it. I mean, how many players do you see could do this without having any genuine love for the game? And the only other player I could really think of...
I don't think it's lack of interest in the game, but I just think it's just the injury, bro. I still believe it's that injury that disrupted his momentum, you know, because once he had that injury, Arsenal sent him out on loan, you know, because like he said, bro, during the video, you know, when he came to the Arsenal first team, he was doing really well. He was a fan's favorite. And as soon as he had that injury, everything just went left, you know. So that was the major turning point, bro. You know, that injury, bro. Yeah.
Could do this without having any genuine love for the game. And the only other player I could really think of off the top of my head is Gareth Bale. But hey, I can't hate on Carlos Vela. As a huge fan of both sports, I kind of understand how he feels. But in terms of football, sadly, we never got to see Carlos Vela truly rise and reach the full potential he was just almost close to achieving.
True. But yeah, fascinating video, man. Fascinating video. You know, I still don't think he hates football. You know, he doesn't hate football, man. You know, maybe, you know, you could say maybe he likes basketball more, but he doesn't hate football. You could say maybe like football was like his second choice and basketball was his first choice. You know, that makes more sense. But yeah, fascinating video. So unlucky with, you know, with that injury, man. So unlucky. You know, if he didn't have that injury, things could have been different, but he could have potentially gone on to be one of the greatest players to ever play for Mexico. I think he's still up there, right? He's still up there as one of the most talented players to play. One of the most talented Mexican players of all time. Was definitely up there. You know, but I think he could have been a whole lot more though. You know. But yeah, great video, man. If you guys like the reaction, smash this like button.